What's up, YouTube? This is JP Panther back on a video, and today's video is, of course, the Star Wars box office news update, and this is week 3, and the title is going to be Star Wars is a box office failure, and we're about to get into it right now, and I'm going to read this article on Forbes by Scott Mendelson, you know, your boy Scott Mendelson, and I'm going to read to it. Again, I will link the article in the description box down below so you guys can check it out. And we're just going to read the most important stuff because there's a lot of crap he says in here, which is just like, bro, it's long as hell. So it says, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker drops 53% but tops 900 million. Weekend box office update, whatever. Rise of Skywalker for the third week in a row, earning another 33.7 million, 53% to bring its 17 domestic total to 450.8 million. That puts it between the Dark Knight and blah blah blah. I don't care about all that crap. It has now, if this were any other franchise opening at any other time, the Star Wars would be a qualified success. But we're nitpicking its performance, and it's due to poor reviews and mixed word of mouth, that Disney tends to keep Star Wars movies even after the end of the Skywalker, and see that the Star Wars opening in the mid-December era, which generated provides a boost in terms of multipliers and post-release legs. If this plays like 3 Star Wars Christmases, this point onward, it will earn between 535 million and 572 million domestic. And blah blah blah. Listen, man, I'm not gonna read every single. This thing is long as hell, man. It will likely fall in the likes of fall short of the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi, Tron Legacy, and all these other movies. Rogue One. It's actually, they're saying Rogue One might do better than the Rise of Skywalker, and Rogue One is a spin-off. You know, it's a side story, whatever. Either the holiday break is preventing the sorry, I can't even speak, whatever. The catastrophe or the size of the gross have negated much of the holiday bump as far as global releases go. It's over 900 million milestone with 486 million overseas. For a 918 million global total, it'll still top 1 billion next week, but it might end up just over the likes of Aladdin, Joker, and Toy Story 4. And among this 2019 biggest earner, to the extent that the domestic earnings are disappointing, it's partly because Disney knew that the overseas audience wouldn't care as much about the end of Star Wars. Thus, we're counting a 20% boost from Last Jedi on a par convention Star Wars trilogy. Assuming it ends with 545 million and blah blah blah, and it just keeps on going on and on. Again, I mean, I just gave you like the main point stuff. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts, right? Here's the thing, right? I told you before, if this was like a small independent film, that would be amazing. But the problem is, you guys spend a lot of money, you spend millions and billions of dollars, you guys treated this like this was the end game, and it's not doing end game type numbers. And I already did a video discussing this. Is that that the shareholders, investors, they're very disappointed in the numbers. And then what I'm reading right now, they're saying that Rogue One might Rogue One might make more money than the Rise of Skywalker, which is insane. And also, it just shows you that if you look at the numbers overseas and domestic, it shows you that that the domestic numbers isn't as strong as the overseas numbers. And the problem, that's a huge problem, because Star Wars is an American franchise, you feel me? It was born in America, you feel me? Overseas, you know, you're making most of your money overseas, and overseas, you know, making money, but like it's not doing what they want, you feel me? Like it should do like endgame type numbers, and the overseas audience isn't as crazy about the Star Wars franchise like Americans are, and Americans ain't rocking with it because you guys poured all this BS into the Rise of Skywalker, you feel me? And it seems like, and I saw this article as well, is that Frozen 2 is making more money than the Rise of Skywalker, which is insane. I think it made like 1.3 billion or some crap like that, whatever, I forget the exact number. But you tell me Frozen 2 is making more money, and this is a Disney owned property as well, is making more money than the Rise of Skywalker, and the Rise of Skywalker is supposed to be their Avengers Endgame, and Frozen is a kitty girl cartoony type movie, and that movie's doing better than the Rise of Skywalker. that has to be very, very disappointing from Disney. And I know Disney's rich; they got money. They're like, hey, we got $1 billion, blah blah. But you gotta understand that you guys spent like $4 billion. You spent so much money marketing and promoting the Star Wars franchise and stuff like that, and it shows you that even though they spent millions and billions of dollars to make you give a crap about these new characters, and Rey and Finn and Poe and freaking Kylo Ren and all these other characters. And Baby Yoda's more popular than all of them, man. Baby Yoda's making more money, and he's going to be more successful than all of them. And Baby Yoda's been around for like 2 months. These characters have been around since 2015. So about 4 or 5 years. And you guys spend like millions and billions of dollars marketing them and trying to get them into pop culture and all that. And Baby Yoda's more successful. And that's crazy, man. That shows you that, Baby Yoda feels more like Star Wars than the actual Star Wars Disney movies, which is insane. And, you got Mandalorian and stuff like that. But overall, it just shows you that the numbers are not doing that well. Again, like, you're like, oh, it made $1 billion and stuff like that, JP and stuff like that. You understand, right? If this was any other movie, this will be different. If this was a Tyler Perry movie, and this was a Medea movie, or a small indie film that no one ever heard of, and it makes over $1 billion, people are like, oh my gosh, this must be popular. This must make, we might have to take chances on small budget movies and stuff like that. But it shows you that you spent so much money trying to, and even if the movie does, which is going to hit $1 billion, it would have to make, like, because I'm saying, like, it spent like at least 500, 600 million. You would have to at least make 1.1, or what was it, 1. You have to like 500, 600 million between, like, just talking about marketing and promotion and budgets and stuff like that, and the reshoots. You will at least have to make like 1.2 billion just to break even, to be honest with you. I don't know what Disney numbers are, but it definitely underperformed because if you spend a lot, you make a lot, and then Frozen is making more money than freaking Star Wars, and that's freaking insane. And also the problem is now is that since officially, right, it's, now it's winding down, tomorrow, people go to work and stuff like that, and you still go to work and school and stuff like that. So now officially that the movie theaters is going to be dead for at least January and February, and even March is like, what do you got, Mulan? Like, you got nothing out coming in 2020 until Black Widow, and that's till summertime. You feel me? Like, I'm talking about something strong, and Eternals comes out like November, I think, whatever. But the point I'm trying to say is that during like this Monday, right, I'm gonna pay attention to some of the box office like around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm gonna see, like, this is the time where kids are out of school, kids are going back to school, parents and people like me, we're going to work and stuff like that. We got to get that money. So we got to see what happens after, these couple of days later, because it shows you that Rise of Skywalker, made majority of its money during the Christmas break, and it should have done a lot better and a lot higher than it is now. So it's like, it is kind of crazy, you feel me? It just shows you that it's not doing what they want. And it just shows you where the Star Wars franchise is. So, the box office number is a good representation of the demand and the supply of, in the politics of Star Wars, to show you, like, yeah, this isn't really as popular as you guys think it is. There's definitely a problem. Because if Force Awakens made $2 billion, then Last Jedi makes like 1.3, and this makes under Last Jedi, that's a problem. So it shows you guys messed up. And I think Disney and Lucasfilm is definitely being like, oh crap, we gotta really fix what we did. And to me, I told you guys before, I think the only way for them to get the hardcore Star Wars fan back is to do Knights of the Old Republic. And the problem is, people don't realize, like, oh my gosh, it should have done this and that, this and that. You gotta realize, right? When The Force Awakens came out, it was Revenge of the Sith came out like 2005, Force Awakens came out like 2015. So you got like a 10-year gap between Star Wars movies, you feel me? So when Force Awakens came out, the reason why it made $2 billion is really because of Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford. And they put all three of them on that poster and the trailers and the marketing and stuff like that. And you had all these other new characters and stuff like that. So all the OGs and the prequel fans like myself, we were going crazy, like, oh my gosh, oh, this is going to be crazy, blah, blah, blah. So we brought, the hardcore fans had the hype, the energy, and we were just turning up. And then we knew something wasn't really right, because, you know, JJ did Star Trek, and we didn't really think about what he did with Star Trek. You know what I mean? It was like the forest covering the trees. We just didn't care. We were like, oh, Han, Luke, and Leia, we're about to have it being nostalgia, you feel me? But then all these new bandwagon feminists and SJWs and these new Disney Star Wars fans are like, oh my god, they just jumped on the bandwagon because we brought in the hype and energy. And people in the normies, they just rushed to the movie theater as well, because we brought the hype and energy online, in the streets, and things like that. And we dressed up and just went up to the movie theater, boom, buying ticket, buying ticket, buying ticket, buying ticket, buying ticket, and everybody buying ticket, everyone's buying ticket, blah, 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 blah. And then what happened with The Last Jedi, people came out to see Mark Hamill. They saw that once, and that was it. You know, you go from $2 billion to $1.3 billion. You go from 700 less than the first movie. And then Rise of Skywalker is very, very mixed. You could say it makes $1 billion, but if you're spending a lot to market it and promote it and put all these budgets and reshoots and casting and all this other stuff, you know you messed up. And it shows you by the numbers. So again, Disney, to me, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of people will say this is a box office failure. Or I think it's a box office disappointment, in my personal opinion, because this is supposed to be their Avengers Endgame, and they keep doing the same crap, and it's gonna, it looks like it's just coming back and bite them in the ass. That's really it, guys. Let me know in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think about this box office. Do you think this is a success? Do you think it's a failure? Do you think even if they hit $1 billion, do you think that's really, really good? Especially when they spent more money marketing and promoting the movie than, you know, probably the same exact movie budget and reshoots and stuff like that. Just tell me what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. Rate and like the video and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Peace and have a great day, and take care and have a great day.